Hello everybody, welcome to God Space. My name is Candice, for those who do not know me. Welcome to God Space. We are here reflecting on our personal experiences and of course exploring how scripture connects. I do have a very, very special guest with me today. And before I do introduce you to my guest, I'm just going to first do a few house rules, if you will.
Good way of describing it.
Thank you. So the scriptures that I read from is not from the KJV version today, but it is from my version, which is New Century Version. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Lord. Yeah, I don't do the King versions. Do you? I don't do thous and arts. I just don't do it. I don't understand it. I'm dyslexic. I need it very simple, very, very simple. And so yeah, my new version, New Century Version, does that. So that's where I'll be reading from. Right. So so today we are going to be doing something very, very special, launching my first ever guest interview, and I couldn't be more grateful to begin with somebody who has walked a very deep and complex journey with God, and you have heard him in the background. It is Daniel.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here. Very blessed to be here.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming today. Yeah, you're not just a guest, you are a friend, you are a creative that I know, and we've known each other for over 8 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Through the arts, through drama.
Very long time.
I've actually got a question here to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share a moment with everyone from our creative work that we've had together? What was most spiritually significant that you can think of?
Out of our creative moment?
Yeah.
That's a tough question because thinking about it, a lot of it's been about, I feel like we used to have a lot of debates. I remember one whole conversation. Do you remember about love?
About love?
Yeah.
Really? You had a debate about love?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was in that room next to the entrance, just in front of the entrance.
Right.
And I was saying how love isn't just what you make it. Do you remember?
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
coming
not
back
as
to me.
pure as you think it is, and you were like, just like, wow. Literally wow, Daniel. And you were saying your point and everything. Like, it was just back and forth, back and forth. Don't know how spiritual that gets, but it's definitely something I somewhat remember.
What was it about it though? What was about the debate? I think we should also let everyone know as well exactly when I say I've known him through drama, I used to teach him.
Yeah, exactly.
Drama.
It was
so I guess what about that then was so memorable?
It's just the fact that we were debating, because I felt like during teaching no one ever would speak up or try to confront an idea.
Okay.
Whereas I felt like I would tend to voice my opinion and stand strong. And I felt like we were going on a back and forth situation where I think I was explaining that, love isn't as pure as people think it is, or isn't just a one-way street of positivity and all of that. It's complex and it can be bad. I can't even remember the full detail, but I just remember that thing and you going, wow. Wow.
It sounds like I was really offended.
You were offended. You were very much offended. And I remember there's someone else in the room just like his hand to his chin and just like taking it all in. I remember you even said, sorry you have to sit through the Daniel show. And I was like, what? I was like, the Daniel show? Okay, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can agree that we've had some interesting dynamics.
100%.
Yeah.
Dynamic is the right word.
some interesting dynamics, and but you know, I think it's definitely developed you know, our relationship, our journey.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
we're not
I think one thing about us is that no matter our opinions, we respect each other enough to take in what's been said,
yeah,
and just move on. Like
absolutely.
it's not like it's ever an offensive thing.
No, absolutely.
Even if we are offended in the moment, it's never something that sticks around for too long. We just move on.
That's it. That's it. So on that note, yeah.
Wow.
So Daniel, so I think like the reason why, you know, God asked me, you know, I was like, I really want to bring people on board on this. I really want to, you know, start interviewing, having discussions with other people, you know, meaningful discussions with others about their relationship with God and, you know, people in my life and how they've, you know, gone on their journey and what their journey was and is, you know. And yeah, and I remember speaking to somebody from the past, and your name was mentioned, and they said to me that, oh yeah, Daniel's coming from drama. Daniel's now a priest, and I was like, wait, Daniel stopped being an actor and is now a priest.
Shocking!
Shocking! I was
Shocking.
shocked. I said, what?
As was I.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that one before. That is news to me.
So I remember that, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I need to speak to you about this. I need to speak to you. I want to hear how this is, what this means, you know." So yeah, true, not true. Where are we going?
Not true.
Okay.
It is very much news to me.
Okay.
However, they wouldn't be completely wrong to think that.
Okay.
I had possibly mentioned the fact that I have thought about joining the priesthood.
Okay.
So the thing about me was that I grew up Catholic. Growing up Catholic, you know, there's a lot of traditions, a lot of things involved, but primarily what leads us is a priest in the church, right?
Right.
But along the line of the line that is my life, I ended up becoming born again. And the feeling of being a priest kind of never left. In fact, I mean, it would then, being born again, I would then be led on to being a pastor instead. But that still didn't leave me, and it's not even something I want, you know. It's not.
So you don't want to be a priest?
I wouldn't say I want to be. It's just always been like there's been like a pull.
A pull.
Yeah, like something, a gravity pulling me towards it, and I don't. It's not because being a pastor is tough. Being a pastor is. I used to live with the pastor and his family, and that was something else. That is, you see the struggle. I'm not lying. If anyone that knows a pastor and knows their life, it is a very much. You're rich in other senses. I wouldn't say financially, but in other ways, you're rich.
Of course, because you're devoting to God.
You're devoting to God. And you're giving everything to God.
And you're rich in His Spirit, and you're rich in His love, and you know,
yeah,
you receive the abundance, the blessings that come afterwards, but you have to also live in the physical self.
Yeah,
you know, which is most likely difficult. Because
100%.
Yeah.
So you really walk in faith and rely on the love and blessings of other people, and He always provides. That's the thing. God does truly provide, but it's a scary life to live if you are in Luke waters, or
right.
You know,
I think I wonder if it's scary life to live because we are not, if we're seeing it from the outside, we're seeing it from not the position of the priest. You know, we're seeing it from the fear, the fear that's driving the flesh, you know. Whereas if you are seeing it from the priest, if the calling has come to you as the priest, you can't see it that way. Otherwise, you know, you won't be able to fulfill God's purpose.
No, 100%. But yeah, I mean, living with a pastor, it allowed me to see a lot more of what is actually involved in his day-to-day life.
Okay.
And it hasn't, so it's not something it hasn't deferred me from trying to follow God. Like, I still have tried
Okay.
to step into the calling.
Okay.
Like, I've tried to do IBI, which is International Bible Institute.
Okay.
Which is where you get like a whole degree of being,
Yeah.
and then it leads you into pastorhood and whatnot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't been met with the most welcoming environment when doing that sort of thing.
Right.
But it hasn't, the calling, and I don't even want to say it's my calling because I don't want it, but it's something that it's just always been there. And living with my pastor, I got to experience his life. I got to see how he helps people. I got to see his day-to-day task, or how much he actually devotes himself to God. And it is a 24/7 thing, and it was very eye-opening and humbling in a sense.
I have a question for you.
Ask.
So if it is God's calling, God's giving you these visions, God's giving you these, you know, lessons to go through, but you're not doing it, aren't you not disobeying what he's asked of you to do?
I mean, yes and no. Like I said, I have. Why no? It's because I have actually tried, but yet the people of God themselves have pushed me away, and have tried to deter me from it. And
talk a little bit more about that. What does that mean?
Okay. So not growing up in the church, being at the born again church I was at, I'm gay, right? Not was, I am, but I was very apprehensive on being open. But then I really told myself, I looked back and I said, if I lie to myself and I lie to others, I'm lying to God. You know, I'm lying, especially in his own house. And if this is a house of love, this is a house of God, surely you have nothing to be afraid of but fear itself. So I was open, and I made it clear if there was ever confusion or someone said, "Oh, why don't you have a girlfriend?" Yada yada yada. I'd always be like, "Oh, because I'm gay." But when I tried to join IBI, there was the person in charge of it would always come up with an excuse, being like, "Oh, I'll let you know how much it is," and I would never get a response. They'll say, "Oh, we'll do it next week," and never get a response. So there was never like a follow-up, or I tried to follow up and there was never I was just met with a wall after a wall after a wall. And it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I don't care how much it costs. I'll just take out a loan and pay straight up. And I was still rejected, you know? And then there was an incident that occurred, with another person, and I kept receipts, right? I kept receipts of everything that was said. I kept receipts of what had happened. I kept a friend informed from the very night the situation occurred until the end, right? But yet I found that everyone turned their backs on me in a sense.
Sorry, guys. My dog is also communicating with us right now.
Starting to growl at nothing.
She didn't growl at nothing. She growls because she hears someone walking past the gate. Right. We're going to take a 5-minute break whilst I tend to my dog. 5 more minutes. Thank you. And we're back. Oh, the greatness about recording.
I know. Have fun with the edits. So where was I? I was talking about, yeah, so they started to turn their back on me, and I didn't understand as to why. Like I accepted my part of the responsibility, but the entire thing was not my place to take responsibility for.
Right.
Like there was a 50-50. The other person didn't want to take their responsibility, and people pushed me away. And people that once was actually people at the church, bear in mind, one person that I kept informed of from the very beginning was cussing this person out. I was actually in a position where I was actually defending them, being like, they have their reasons. I'm sure, you know, there's no negativity behind it, yada yada yada. At 1 minute, next to like from one point to the next, was their friend, and they completely stopped talking to me, and I didn't understand, because there was no one point in the conversation where I said, I don't want you to talk to them or anything like that. So when it happened to me, it caught me by surprise, and it hurt me a lot. And I just couldn't fathom as to what it was, instead of possibly the fact that I am gay, because I then later find out by someone that the older generation in the church were asking the pastor and his wife, why would you let someone gay in the church? Why would you let Daniel in the church? Why this? Why that? And at that point, I had stopped attending the church. So it would make sense that people start talking, right?
Yes.
And whether it's true or not, everything kind of pointed to me not being welcome, you know, not being able to join IBI, like trying to follow God's calling, even though I don't necessarily, not say that I don't want to, but
yeah, we're going to go back to that.
Okay.
We're going to go back to that because, you know, I just wanted to
okay.
There is a
I was
scripture
trying
there
to
for you
answer the Paul. I was trying to answer the, like the
Yeah.
Paul. I was trying to let me be myself, be Pauled.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And I was taking the steps forward, but I was met with closed doors, and I kept questioning myself, why, if this is God's home, why is this happening? Why me? You know. But I then thought maybe it's that my season is over, because early in the year, when I joined the church, well, actually not early in the year, years ago, in the beginning of the year when I joined the church, I actually met a founder of a Christian camp on my third week. He was literally sitting one row in front of me, or two rows. I can't fully remember that. But at the end of the service, he turns around, he shakes my hand, he introduces himself, we get to talking, and I made a good impression, and he offered me a job to work in America.
Okay.
In the summer camp.
Okay.
And he said, if you like, stay after the food, that I'm gonna have a little like conference, and you get to know more about the camp and what I do and what the goal is. And I stayed, and I done the application, which I paid for myself, because you have to do a application through a website that like not sponsored you, but it's well recognized, so the American embassy won't neglect your visa.
Right.
And when I'd done that, when I went to camp, I really got to experience God and have an encounter with God and meet all these Christian people, and made really, really lovely friends that truly love me for who I am. One person invited me over to their state for like an entire month. I stayed with them.
Okay.
They bought my plane ticket.
Okay.
It was just really lovely. I met my first partner in the States. I met my dad in the States.
Wow.
I done so many firsts. I got to travel to so many parts of the US in just in the space of what? Not even in the space of 3 months whilst working at the camp. So this was all definitely, this is like a whole that year was a whole testimony to God.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew he definitely is working and moving. But I think by the end of all of that, and years later when the incident happened, I think it was just God telling me, your season here is over, because I was losing myself I just wasn't the same person I was when I was in the States. And the States has always been it's weird to say that I've always had a pull towards America. I don't know why, but it was never there was never a goal in my head in the sense that, I want to be an astronaut in the United States. I want to be a chef in the United States. I want to be this or that or anything like that. It wasn't like that.
See, it's very interesting, right? Because I think first I just wanted to wait, let me find it first. Proverbs, thank you. Right, because I think in that, that we must read out here. When you were speaking about your journey, and it isn't really what you wanted to do. Yeah. Proverbs says that, doesn't it? It says about plans that we make, but our steps are being directed, but by God. It literally. I wanted to read it exactly. Okay, Proverbs 16, verse 9. People may make plans in their minds, but the Lord decides what they will do.
Right. So, yeah. So God will always, despite you having your own plans, God is always going to send you things to put you in the path of what He has planned out for you, especially if you are trying to follow in His will.
And I think as well, it's like you can have the plans, you can say, or you can do that what you want to do. This is what I want to do. And if it is aligned, then God will make the way 100%. Forward for you.
100%.
God will make that way forward for you. So but you still would have to go through your trials. You still may have to go through your tribulations, because the path that He's put in place for you, there is a version that He needs you.
Change.
It requires change. It requires you to leave your comfort. It requires you to grow. It requires you to do new things so you can become something better. So that you're
ready for the plan.
So that you are ready for the plan.
100%.
And I feel like that speaks into your experience right now.
100%. I definitely I have come to understand that. I think that is why I wasn't meant to stay in that church, and maybe IBI there wasn't for me. Maybe it's somewhere else. And go on.
I'm just saying that it's really interesting though, isn't it? Because you think it wasn't there, but if you think about it though, that's where He planted you.
That's
first,
where He planted me first,
because He needed that seed in you to be developed, to be and
to learn my lessons as well,
and to learn your lessons, whatever they may be, or wherever they were. But you needed to do that there, and so I just wanted to go back though, because I wanted to discuss I think your journey is really
definitely complex,
because we're literally talking about a church here.
And years, this is time of many experiences and and trials in itself.
Exactly. And we're literally talking about a place where we think, when we find our churches, we're literally finding our homes. We're finding our place of foundations. Right?
100%.
And what you're speaking here is, you're literally saying that your foundation wasn't the place that had your best interest at heart, it sounds like.
Well, it depends what my foundations are, essentially.
True.
What is, what would you say would be my foundation.
Oh, okay. I'm not saying like the foundation of, this is where I'm gonna stay, live, be. This right here is where I'm gonna, grow and develop. I'm saying foundations as your starting point, just however you wanna use the phrase starting point as.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
I do understand that now. I definitely see that experience at the church as a foundation. I learned a lot. I learned how people interact in a church, how they help each other, how they help the community. But I also saw the bad sides that can exist in a church.
Yeah. And I think it's, do you know what? And it's really, it's not every church actually walks in alignment with God.
No, and not every church has the same chemistry.
Right.
We're human at the end of the day. We don't constantly live in the spirit, and we do have earthly, like, yearns. Like we do have our complex emotions, like God. Like, we are made in God's image, and that's not physically, obviously. That is our emotion, our spectrum of emotions, and our thoughts. And we sometimes let gossip take hold, and anger and jealousy and all these things.
All the sins.
Because we're human, we're made perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, no, we're too much controlled by our flesh and because that's not where our spirit is should be leading us. Leads us anyway.
But looking at it from an outside perspective, I saw the good and the bad. I saw a pastor's perspective. I saw what he's in charge of, what he does, how he helps. I saw how the pastor's wife is involved, how his kids are involved, how everything kind of intertwines, how the ministry works, but then how the community itself, the people that attend church, how they work and how they talk, and it came to a surprise that people had cliques in church, and I never knew this. I thought everyone loved each other. I thought everyone was lovey-dovey, everyone was friends, but it wasn't until I left church where people would come to me and be like, oh no, there's cliques here, cliques there. I was like, that is such a surprising thing.
It's not in my church.
But it was
my church, no.
Right. But I mean, who are we to judge? And I did it, to be fair. I was just surprised. But it was none of my business at that point. I said, it's fine, whatever.
Do you know what? I think this is a good point here to read out Ephesians 4. So Ephesians 4, is the unity of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read out Ephesians 4. I am in prison because I belong to the Lord. God chose you to be his people, so I tell you now to live the life to which God called you. Always be humble, gentle, and patient, accepting each other in love. You are joined together with peace through the Spirit. So do all you can to continue together in this way. There is one body, one Spirit. God called you to have one hope. There is one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. There is one God and Father of everything. He rules everything and is everywhere and is in everything.
Amen.
Ephesians 4, 1-6.
Can I read one myself?
Of course you can.
Funny enough, it's my favorite passage. I wonder how this one's going to be translated, because it is going to be slightly different. It is Ephesians 5, verse 1-2.
Please tell me, is it not already marked?
It's already marked.
Thank you very much. I mark my verses.
Yeah, it's actually titled Living in the Light in this Bible. So,
okay.
You are God's children whom he loves. So try to be like him.
Right.
Live a life of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself for us as a sweet smelling offering and sacrifice to God.
Yeah.
And I think that, for me, that is my favorite passage throughout the whole Bible, because it really is just what we should be following. Our lives should follow.
Yeah.
You know, just, it isn't the easiest thing. We're capable of love. We aren't creatures of solely love.
Yeah.
But it is what Jesus was like. He didn't look at people and judge or say, "Oh, there's a spirit there. Don't hang out with them." He loved everyone for who they were, no matter their sin. He wanted them just to know God and know that he's capable of forgiveness and that you can be saved. And I feel like just, it's not easy, but filling your heart with love and reminding yourself what Jesus is like and to live like him is fulfilling enough, and will help you grow and put you in positions where you are always going to learn. And it might even test your faith with God, but what is religion without a bit of testing?
What is relationship with God without a bit of testing?
Oh, that's true. Amen to that. That is very much true. Yeah. Like any relationship, even marriage. Why do you think marriage counseling exists? There's always a test.
Listen. Why do you think marriage with God exists? There is a test. Like,
yeah.
There's
it's not
always,
easy.
it's always testings. Always tests.
You're always being molded.
Always. Like, you've never, like you don't start. When you think like you've passed one test, you're like, yeah. Here comes 5 more.
Yeah, I'm done. Like, I've got it. But then boom, I'm like, oh, all right, didn't know that one.
Yeah, so it's like it's living in the light, living in the light. And I'm wondering if you have told yourself, I wonder if the spirit spoke to you right now, telling yourself, yeah, because when you began this conversation, it was, I don't want to walk in, I don't want to do that, blah, 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 blah. And like, here you are talking about, you know, walking in in the steps. We're talking about God will test you. We're talking.
You're really loud. You're really loud. You don't have to be so loud. We can hear you. I think everyone can hear you.
Good. Good.
Listen, my wants is nothing compared to what God wants. Do you know what I mean? And as much as I say I don't want, I told you these pools exist. All right, and I'm not the same person as I was in the States, and I feel like maybe that is where I'm meant to bloom.
Yes.
That's where I'm meant to bear fruit and grow in God, because that's where I've done the most growth.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of time. I probably still have things to learn here.
Yes.
Until the time is right for me to move.
And I think that is because I think it's really important that when we think about God's calling, I'm still calling this God's calling, right? When we think about God's calling, you know, it doesn't disappear. It doesn't like do you know how many visions I get all the time about this project? Do this, do that, and do this, and those visions, they never disappear, they never go away from me until I have done them, until I have completed them. Literally. You know, and I know if I don't start those projects that God has told me to start, you know, I'm not starting due to my own, or it's not spirit guiding me, it's my flesh. It's your flesh talking. and communicating and controlling me for form. And so I'm delaying what I should be doing, right? But once I start doing it, you know, I'm like, oh, that's why you wanted me to do that. Yeah. Oh, that's why. All right, cool. All right, let's. And all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? It makes sense. It makes sense, and everything falls into place. And everything falls into place. Yeah. And you know? See his blessings come one after the other. Exactly. And all it does is when I, you know, it deepens my relationship with him. It makes me go much further into, okay, what else do you want me to do? How else do I now need to be? What do I now need to be? More like teach me, like, you know, refine me more so that I can keep on, you fulfilling these tasks and visions that you're asking from me, you know. So I guess where I'm trying to go with this is understanding what do you think right now is your vision, and where do you think what is your spiritual preparation?
See, I knew you were going to ask this question. When I was waiting for you at the station, I actually knew, like, something came to me, and I knew you were going to ask this. And
Spirit
for me, yeah, and I don't have a vision.
Okay. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree.
I don't.
It comes to debate. I disagree.
Okay. All right. Since you got your degree, I know everything. For me, what I think in my body and in my brain and in my life, yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. You have your vision.
I don't have a vision. I do know that I would like to go to the States.
There's your vision.
That isn't.
There's your vision.
Right, but
there's your vision.
Apart from that,
I don't understand.
There's no role I have envisioned for me. I'm literally solely because you never know what's around the corner, you know?
Right, okay.
So for me, it's like whatever God brings my way, I will try my best to answer that, to accept that blessing and answer it.
All right, cool. So going off what you just said, yeah, try your best, yeah, to walk in priesthood. That's what he gave you. That's what he gave you. That's what he gave you. If you people, you can't see the recording, but yeah, you heard me the first.
They can rewind literally 2 seconds and they would hear that.
Second, good. Second, yeah, your vision. Go to the States.
That's happening.
That's your. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand what this conversation is.
You don't want to understand.
Yeah. So you have your vision.
As I was saying, yeah, the States, but you know what? Yeah, I agree with you. 100%.
That's it. Now we need to start reflecting on is, you know, what are you going to do? What's happening right now to get all of those, to make sure that your steps are in alignment with his purpose?
I am growing. I'm growing as a person. I am doing what I have to do to prepare myself when I do move there. I'm taking things off. I'm becoming more independent. I'm doing the things I don't want to do. Do you know what? That's something actually I want to talk about. I'm doing the things I don't want to do because I'm doing it out of discipline. I'm doing it because I know it's good for me. I'm doing it because I know it challenges me.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going to prepare me to finally accept quote unquote calling of God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the things you don't want to do and completing those tasks and making yourself better as a person. And
someone said this to me once, right? When you get your gift, when you realize what your gift is, you'll realize also that your gift isn't for you. Your gift is for others.
Can you believe I've done a leadership test, right? We all done it at church. Why were my top 3 leadership, prayer, and I believe it was charity?
Really?
And I was like, I don't do charity. I'm being honest. This is me. I'm an honest person, innit? I'm not ashamed. I'm honest. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was confused because I was like, I don't do charity.
I was confused. So
like, who's this? I don't know this Daniel. I don't.
So this Daniel?
Danielle? Danielle? Who's that person? It's not me. I'm Daniel.
So this person, it sounds like you had signs. It sounds like Spirit was giving you signs of like, You know, I'm not asking you to change your name to Danielle. What I'm asking you to do though is walking in alignment with Jesus.
Yeah.
And walking in alignment with Jesus means giving back, means charity. It
No,
means
yeah.
being of service.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's another thing. Everything I've done, I always hope to help people. Even in baking, I'm a big baker. One reason why I love baking is because I love people enjoying food. I love seeing them, because for me, in my growing up, what brought people together and what made people happy was food.
Sure.
And I feel like if that is one of my gifts, it definitely is. I definitely take joy in making others happy through food
and bringing people together. Yeah.
So if we link everything,
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. Yes. But at the same time, I do think I have growing into I have to grow and learn what I have to learn here for when I move.
Yes.
For when I move and when I'm in the States, and the next stage of God's plan will take place.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. I think that is a wonderful way to wrap all this up. Yeah.
But I do have something for the viewers though, if you don't mind.
Go on.
For anyone listening at home, anyone that is lost or feels alone and struggling with God, just know, even though you don't see it, even though you may not feel it, He is moving.
100%.
There are moments where I feel disconnected with Him. Even now, I wouldn't even say I'm 100% there in that connection. I feel presence. I wouldn't say that. But I know He's moving, and I've seen Him move.
At 100%. So
even though I know people say this as well. I know this has been said, but you're not alone. You're genuinely not alone. Yeah. He is moving. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes you taking the first step.
Sometimes that is a very good. Hear me clapping.
And sometimes it's just, sometimes it's a matter of time. And you just have to stay strong.
Sometimes God removes you. Sometimes he says no to protect you from something else, to keep you safe, because there is something else that is
exactly
for you.
And by removing you, it may mean you didn't get this interview. It may mean you didn't get this date even. People and work and everything, if it's not for you, if it's not going to lead you to where you need to be and where you're going to actually bear fruit, you are not going to get it.
You won't get that.
But that doesn't mean you're unloved. It doesn't mean you are unfavored.
It doesn't mean that He's not listening.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that He doesn't want the best for you. It just means that there is better for you.
There's something else that He has to do.
Exactly.
There's just something else. And I think it's just about making sure so that you can hear Him, so that you can build a relationship with Him.
100%.
It's about spending time with Him.
Exactly. Open your Bible. Feed your spirit, because your spirit is like a muscle, and if you don't work it, it's never going to grow. And without growing, it's not going to develop its ears. It's not going to develop its voice. You aren't going to hear. You aren't going to be able to speak. And if you speak to God, please speak with your heart. Otherwise, God's not going to hear what your intent is. You need to truly deep down it. And you know what? I know it's not going to be easy, because you're going to feel silly if you don't do it often. And 2, you're being vulnerable. And some people can't be vulnerable with themselves. But you have to be vulnerable for God to hear what you truly want and desire. And then the next stage is not being afraid of when He actually gives you what you're desiring. And the preparation it takes to achieve that desire.
When they say, take your own lesson, take your own advice.
You're being loud. You're being loud again. And I think people can hear you. People can hear you clearly. The clicking, the snapping, that can. I think they get it. I think we can wrap it up. nip that in the bud now.
All right, guys. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate this, man. And it was great. It was great.
You're very welcome. It was
great.
A pleasure to be here.
It was great. Thank you, guys. Until next time.
Bye.